All right, children, just want to do a quick video tonight. Bitcoin has been acting very strangely today. Stocks dumped basically all day. Dow futures are up slightly right now. But basically, since last night, all day yesterday, stocks dumped, and basically all day today, the stocks were dumping. And Bitcoin pretty much has been holding between 29 and $30,000. You would think with a massive dump like that in the stocks, that Bitcoin would have basically dumped right back down to 25,000. Let's go back a little bit. Bitcoin did dump down to 25,000 with the whole Terra Luna incident, where Terra Luna had to the Luna Foundation had to liquidate thousands of Bitcoin to basically try to prop up UST. And you basically saw Bitcoin basically drop from like the 30,000 range to the $25,000 range. It all happened within a couple hours. And it kind of reminded me of that COVID dump we had a couple years ago where Bitcoin went from like $6,000 or $7,000 down to $3,000. But right when we hit $25,000, Bitcoin pretty much shot back up to $29,000, $30,000, and it's been pretty much hanging out there ever since. Now, I was convinced with the stock market dumping the last couple of days that stock market's pretty much gone into a bear market. Gas prices are at all-time high. I was convinced, Bitcoin's dropping, to $25,000, $28,000, at least $27,000. I was convinced today we were going to be at least $28,000. And Bitcoin's been holding up pretty good. So I don't know. This could just kind of goes to show that Bitcoin is pretty much unpredictable. It follows the stock market, but then sometimes it doesn't. So it's like one of those things you just don't know. That's why you just always have to be cost averaging. I'm so happy I got a bunch of Cardano at 42 cents. I mean, I just got a ton of it at 42 cents. Will we ever go back down to 42 cents? I think so. I think we'll see Cardano in the 30-cent range at some point, but you would think with the stock market dumping for the last 2 days, and we're basically in a bear market, and we're pretty much almost in a recession, and even the housing market's looking pretty much like crap. I actually saw an article today that the housing for April was just as bad as it was around when COVID started. So everything's slowing down. So anyway, what I think is going to happen, and I have no idea, I think like Bitcoin might just get rejected at like 31 or $32,000, and then it's basically going to dump right back down to 20, 28. And from there, we'll see what happens. But you know what? It's all predictions. It's all guesses. That's why I always say you got to have money on the side, and you just have to be cost averaging. That's why every time Cardano drops 10 cents, I basically buy some. Because you just have no idea. Every time Theta drops a little bit, I buy some. Because you have no idea. Everybody and their mother was basically convinced, including myself, Bitcoin was going to be, at $28,000. Some very smart people even I talked to, stockbrokers. You go on other forums, talk to Reddit, you see what other financial advisors are doing, all convinced Bitcoin's going to drop down to $27,000, $28,000 today because of the stock market. And here is Bitcoin basically pumping. I mean, not pumping, but hanging in there. So was the bottom $25,000? Was that Luna liquidation of Bitcoin? Was that the bottom for Bitcoin? Kind of like COVID, that COVID dump back down to 3,000. Was that the bottom? I don't know. We shall see what happens. But I think it's very interesting that Bitcoin is really not following the stock market the last 2 days. So, like I said, Bitcoin does follow the stock market, but not always. And maybe we're starting to see that Bitcoin kind of pulling away from the stock market every so often. Because eventually I think Bitcoin will not be correlated with the stock market. Now, it is 90% of the time it is, but today it just doesn't make any sense. The beauty of Bitcoin, it's unpredictable.